Hey, what's up guys, OSG back with the Commodore Years Series Finale. We've made it all the way to 1992 and 1993, and because the releases really started to thin out by this point, I've combined the final 2 years into one last countdown. The Amiga was in full swing, consoles were everywhere, and the C64 was basically the old warrior still stood in the corner saying, "I'm not finished yet." And honestly, looking at some of these games, it really wasn't. So let's do this one last time, counting down the 20 best Commodore 64 games from 1992 and 1993 in order of greatness. Kicking us off in 20th place, we've got I Play 3D Tennis. Now, tennis games on the C64 could be a bit hit and miss, but this one at least tries to give you a proper behind the player court view rather than just another flat side-on match. It's not going to change anyone's life, but it plays decently enough and gives the final list a bit of sport and variety. Taking 19th place is Breadbin 2. This is one of those late C64 platformers that most people probably missed completely. It's simple, colourful and very much in that magazine disc style of game, but there is charm to it. Nothing revolutionary, but at this stage of the machine's life, even getting a tidy little platformer was nice to see. In 18th position we've got Click Clack. This is a clever little puzzle game about fitting cogs together and getting everything moving properly. Sounds boring when you say it like that, but it's actually really addictive. It's one of those games where you think, I'll just do one more level, then suddenly you've wasted half a night playing with gears like some kind of 8-bit mechanic. Coming in at 17 is Acid Runner. This is basically Load Runner on steroids. You're running around platforms, avoiding enemies, grabbing what you need and trying not to get trapped, but everything feels faster, a bit more intense. It has that late European C64 feel to it as well. Slightly strange, slightly harsh, but definitely interesting. Next up at 16 we've got Heli Rescue. A simple but really effective rescue game where you're flying around, picking people up and trying not to get yourself blown to bits in the process. It's not complicated, but that's part of why it works. You know what you're doing straight away and then the game just keeps turning up the pressure. At number 15 we've got Locomotion. This one's all about trains, tracks and trying to keep everything moving without making a complete mess of it. It's a proper puzzle game where the simple idea hides a really nasty challenge once the levels get going. The C64 was always great at these easy to understand, hard to master games, and Locomotion fits that perfectly. Taking 14th place is Soul Crystal. Now this one's a bit of a cheat because originally it was German only, and unless you could read German you were basically sat thinking, well, this looks lovely, no idea what I'm doing. It did get an English translation much later in 2023 by Onslaught, but the point is, the game itself was always strong. If you could understand it, there was a proper atmospheric adventure here. Unlucky for some, but number 13 goes to Catalypse. And I have to mention this, Zap gave this 30%, which is criminally low. I mean 30%, come on. This is a slick horizontal shooter with great presentation, fast action and brilliant music. It's tough, yes, but it's also one of those late C64 shooters that really shows that the machine had some bite left in it. Just outside the top 10 we've got Fred's Back. Compared to the sequel, this one feels a bit stronger overall. It's a straightforward platformer, but it has better rhythm and a bit more personality. Again, not a game that was ever going to trouble Mario, but for a late C64 release, it's a decent little platformer and absolutely worth including. Just missing the top 10 is Arnie. This is isometric action with enemies absolutely everywhere. It feels like the game wants you dead from the second it starts. There's a lot of Commando and Ikari Warriors energy here, but it has its own rough, chaotic charm. Hard as nails, but weirdly addictive once you get in the rhythm of it. Breaking into the top 10 is Nobby the Aardvark. Thalamus was still showing off here. Big coloured graphics, smooth movement, and a platforming style that feels properly polished. It's got a strange little personality of its own as well, which helps it stand out. One of those games where you could tell that the C64 still had skilled people squeezing everything they could out of it. Taking the 9th spot is Roll & Ronnie. This is a polished scrolling platformer where you're basically dashing around the city trying to deliver parcels and avoid trouble. It looks good, moves nicely, and it has a much more modern feel that you might expect from a C64 game this late. It's not the most famous game on the list, but it's really well put together. In 8th place we've got Rampart, part strategy game, part action game, part frantic castle repair simulator. You're building walls, placing cannons, blasting enemies, and desperately trying to patch everything up before the next attack. It sounds simple, but once it gets going, it becomes proper tense, very addictive, and a great fit for the C64. Lucky number 7 goes to Space Crusade. This one captures the board game feel really well. You're moving squads through dark corridors, watching corners, dealing with aliens, and trying not to make stupid decisions that gets everyone killed. It's slower and more tactical than most games on the list, but that's exactly why it works. Proper thinking man sci-fi. Taking 6th place is Elvira II, The Jaws of Cerberus. This is a horror adventure with proper nasty edge to it. You've got exploration, puzzles, inventory management, monsters, gore, and of course Elvira herself front and centre. It can be brutal and confusing at times, but the atmosphere is excellent. It feels bigger and darker than most C64 adventures. Breaking into the top 5 we've got First Samurai. This game just looks and sounds huge. Big sprites, strong music, loads of atmosphere and a strange fantasy setting that gives a real distinct feel. It can be unforgiving and sometimes you're not entirely sure what the game wants from you, but when it clicks it feels like one of the most impressive action games on the machine. Taking 4th place is Slicks. Codemasters absolutely knew how to make a top-down racer, and Slicks is one of the best. It's fast, smooth, easy to pick up, and brilliant with another player. The handling feels just right, and that's what matters with games like this. No nonsense, just proper fun racing. Taking the bronze medal in 3rd place is Enforcer, Fullmetal Megablaster. And what a ridiculous title that is. It sounds like a game that should come with a free mullet or a leather jacket, but the game backs it up. This is a seriously impressive horizontal shooter with big visuals, fast action and cracking music. One of the last real, look what the C64 can still do moments. Runner-up is Mayhem in Monsterland, and honestly, this is the C64 refusing to go quietly. The scrolling is ridiculous, the colours are bright, and the animation is smooth, and it generally looks like it shouldn't be running on the machine. But the best part is, it's not just a tech demo, it's a brilliant platformer as well, a proper late era miracle. And finally, taking the number 1 spot is Creatures 2 Torture Trouble. This is pure late era C64 magic. Gorgeous graphics, brilliant animation, great music, loads of personality, and those famous torture screens that somehow manage to be cute and horrible all at the same time. It feels like a team that knew the C64 inside and out and just decided to give it one last proper showcase. For me, this is the perfect game to end the series on. And that wraps up the Commodore Years Series Finale. From the early days of simple arcade conversions right through to games like Mayhem, Enforcer and Creatures 2, the C64 had one hell of a run. Going through every year has made it even clearer just how special this machine was. Let me know in the comments below what your favourite late era C64 game is, and what game you think best represents this machine overall. Oh, and if you would like to support the channel like these guys going up the screen right now, get on over to my Patreon channel where you can pledge for as little as $1. That will get you perks like your name in the C64 crack drawer, end credits, video requests, giveaways and more in the future. Till next time, this is OSG, signing out.